This conference will now be recorded.
All right. In the last session, we were talking about some information related to configuration. While doing the configuration or while practicing the configuration, we understood everything is related to company code. Then we understood how do we decide a company code while practicing based on the country, based on the parameters related to an organization, whatever is operating in any country, what parameters are required, which we need to understand. Similarly, we also understood to do your practice, it is recommended you take your first company code of your own country, meaning if you are practicing from India, take Indian company code, from any other country, that respective country's company code, reason. You will understand your legal requirements properly. You will understand your legal requirements properly. Later on, you will add additional company codes, take it for other countries as part of your rollout company code practice. Now, let us try to understand one point related to SAP. So, usually when you're talking about SAP, we have SAP ECC, we have SAP S4 HANA, and then we also have SAP Cloud Edition. When we talk about SAP Cloud, basically we call it as Public Cloud Edition. SAP Private Cloud, or in short, let me put this is on-premise or private cloud. Either on-premise or private cloud or public cloud, it is one and the same. Cloud, in short, public. Okay, so these points when you're looking at, please make sure whatever the version of SAP that you're working with, logic, fundamental concept remains the same. From the system to system, there may be minute changes which you will be in a position to understand on your own. If your learning approach, if your conceptual understanding, if your requirement is proper in your mind, the version is not going to create any problem. The changes will not make any difference for you. If you are directly doing the configuration, yes, definitely you will find the differences. But if you are going based on the logic, concept, requirement, any change that is there, you will easily catch. Okay, in this system, there is a change in this. In the previous system, in the previous version, it was different. In this system, there is a difference. You will be in a position to easily figure it out. In case if you come across any new thing, you will be able to easily understand with your current knowledge, with your current understanding. Make sure with your knowledge, with your understanding, as you move forward, any change that is coming up, you are in a position to handle, adopt on your own. For everything, if you are depending on different other sources, you will never be in a position to work independently, feel comfortable, feel confident. So this should not be the case. Any requirement, any upgradations that are happening in the market related to SAP, please make sure your knowledge, your understanding will help you get those corrections, get those updates on your own. That is what is your actual learning. That is what says that you are conceptually clear with the subject. Now let us look at this SAP screen. In general, to log into SAP, this is your SAP logon pad. This is your SAP logon pad. This SAP logon pad is basically called as SAP GUI or SAP GUI. Let me double click on this SAP logon pad. Okay, if I double click on SAP logon pad, this is how it is representing. Remember to log into SAP on-premise version or SAP GUI version. This is how screen looks like. You need to add any connection here only, whether it is ECC or it is S4 HANA system. To log into S4 HANA, to log into SAP system, this is the logon pad. You need to add connection here. Now I have ECC server. We have 1909 version. We have 2021 version. We have 2022 version. We also have latest 2023 version. Now I am going to log in to the latest version 2023. As we move forward, I will show you the previous version and also ECC version. Okay, currently I am going to open S4 HANA 2023 version. Okay, this is how your SAP logon screen looks like. You need to put your user ID. I am writing my user ID, then you need to put your password. I will put my password here. Okay, and then press enter. When you press enter, you will be in a position to log on. The moment you log on to SAP, it will display this screen, which is called as SAP Easy Access. So whenever you look at SAP Easy Access, this SAP Easy Access is called as end user screen. And for a consultant, you will be working on another screen. As a consultant, screen that we will be using is basically called as IMG screen or SPRO screen. For that, let me put a T code in the command bar, SPRO, press enter, and let me click on this SAP reference IMG. Okay, so if you look at it, left hand side you are able to see SAP Easy Access, right hand side you are able to see display IMG screen. Now left hand side, wherever you are able to see SAP Easy Access is your end user screen. Right hand side, whatever you see as display IMG or implementation guide is basically called as consultant screen. Please make sure as a in the consultant screen what you are going to do, and also in the end user screen what you are going to do. We need to have a clarity. Okay, others, those who are not talking, please go on mute. Okay, so one screen you can see easy access, another screen you can see implementation guide, or in short IMG screen. Now there are 2 points which we need to understand here. Okay, now which we will call it as data flow in SAP FICO. Let us try to understand, let us try to connect, relate points with respect to SAP FICO, as we are FICO consultants. As we are FICO consultant, let us try to understand things with respect to FICO, so that tomorrow when you are working in any project, tomorrow when you are talking to anybody, you are practical. Do not understand things in a generic way. Do not talk things in a generic way. Instead, try to explain with respect to SAP FICO, because you are a FICO consultant. Once you are comfortable with your module, once you are comfortable with your area, then you can talk about anything in a generic way. But while talking, your first priority is strictly to connect points with your SAP FICO, where is your core competence, which is your core area. So basically here you will have point number 1 is your business requirement. Based on the business requirement, point number 2, you will start working on configuration. Based on the configuration, point number 3, we will create master data. Based on the master data, point number 4, we will create transaction data. Based on the transaction data, point number 5, we will work on, or we will generate reports. In any of the above process, if there is any problem, you will provide support. This is the life cycle of SAP FICO, which is a continuous process. As long as a client is using SAP, this is a never-ending process. It is like a circle. It is like a circle. This is ongoing process, continuously happening in every organization. Now, what you need to do here is, when you're talking about business requirement, this business requirement is given by client. Business requirement is provided by client. Configuration is maintained by consultant. Okay, master data is again created by client and consultant. Transaction data is again client and consultant. Report is client and consultant. Support by consultant. Support is given by the consultant. Now, if you look at it, there is something called configuration. Okay, there is something called configuration where you are an individual player here. There is something called support where you are individual contributor here. Now, above configuration, below configuration, in short, before doing the configuration, after doing the configuration, do you have client involvement or not?
Yes.
Sir.
Right?
Yes, we have.
Before doing the configuration, there is a client involvement. After doing the configuration also, there is a client involvement, meaning you cannot straight away do configuration in any project in your SAP FICO journey. Reason, in order to set up anything in SAP, you need to get the business requirement. Business requirement will be provided, will be given by the client. We need to understand the business requirement, map the business requirement, get the business requirement to sign off. Only after that start working on configuration. Once your configuration is created, then you'll have to set up master data. You will have to create a transaction. You will have to generate report, show them to the client, get their acknowledgement, get their confirmation, get their sign off here. Only after this, your client will tell, okay, everything is working fine. Meaning, before doing the configuration, there is something called business requirement. You need to understand, you need to document the business requirement, send the business requirement to the client, get the client confirmation, get the client approval on the business requirement. Only after client confirmation, only after client sign off, you will have to start your configuration. Before that, you will not do config. After configuration is completed, you will have to create all these things. You need to create master, you need to create a transaction, you need to generate report, show these things to the client. In front of the client, create a master. In front of the client, create a transaction. In front of the client, generate a report. Let the client understand, explain the things to the client, and then client will tell that, okay, everything is working fine as per our requirement. Only then client will tell, okay, you will move this to production or you will hand over the system to us. Meaning, configuration is a not straightforward activity in any project. While practicing, while preparing also, do not blindly do configuration. Understand before config, after config, there is a business involvement, client involvement. They need to check, they need to confirm. In short, only after their confirmation, only after their approval, your things will move forward. Otherwise, whatever config you will do will not be moving forward. After that, definitely, since it is a continuous business process, they will need support. They will be needing support. As a consultant, again, you will provide the support. As a consultant, again, you will provide the support. It is a continuous process. When you are providing support, you need to again understand what is the problem, what is the error, what is the new requirement. Accordingly, again, you will discuss the same points. While doing it here, you need to understand this configuration activity is done in SPRO. Okay, this is done in SPRO IMG screen. Master data is created in easy access screen. Transaction data is easy access screen. Report is easy access screen. In short, by looking at it, if I minimize this, you are able to see two screens. On the SAP easy access screen, what are the 3 points which we were talking about on easy access?
Master data,
Master
transaction
data, transactional data,
Transactional data,
reports.
Transaction data.
Report. Right?
Reports.
In easy access screen, we were basically talking about you will be able to generate you will be able to create a master record, you will be able to create the transaction record, you will be able to generate a report. Now we are SAP FICO consultant. Our SAP FICO is all about what was the first point that we were talking about in our first overview session? As a FICO consultant, what do you need to know? Accounting. right? Even in
Yes,
SAP,
yes.
there is something called
Yes.
clearly mentioned accounting here. Crystal clear, even in SAP, it is written as accounting. Am I correct? So don't think that I am not related to accounting as a FICO consultant. In SAP, the heading itself is accounting. If you open accounting, inside the accounting, there are so many subcomponents. As a FICO consultant, we are responsible for two areas. Area number one, financial accounting. Area number two, controlling. This is what you call it as FICO. FI is basically financial accounting. CO is basically controlling. If I open FI, financial accounting, this is what we were talking about. GL module, general ledger, accounts receivable, all about customer, accounts payable, all about vendor. This is again same thing, a contract payable, contract receivable, banks. In short, here you will be dealing with cash and bank related. Fixed asset, you will be talking about fixed asset. That's all. These things we will not be using. These are the same points that we were talking in the previous session. Am I correct? Types of accounts, main ledger, sub ledger.
Yes.
Okay. Now, next point, if I look at anything, for example, general ledger. In the general ledger, or from easy access point of view, from end user point of view, what are the three areas that we were talking about?
Master
Master
data,
data, transaction
transaction
data,
data, and
And
reports.
reports, right? Master data. Do you find master record here? Right? In the GL, you have master data or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it
Right?
is.
In the GL, you have data entry, transaction data, transaction postings, these are all. And similarly, you can also find reporting. These are all different
Yes.
reports. Financial statement, cash flow, all these things you can see.
Mm.
Right? Now, similarly, if I look at accounts receivable, same thing. Master data, transaction data, reports. Yes, no? Customer balance report, customer line item report, agree? Similarly,
yes.
if I go to accounts
Agree.
payable, same thing. Again, master data, transaction data, reports, various customer reports, vendor reports, agree?
Yes.
Similarly, if you go to bank, same thing. Master data, transaction data, these are all bank transactions, and then the reports, cash book, different kind of reports. Similarly, if you take bank, same thing. Master data, creation of assets, posting, transaction data, different kind of reports. Any complication in easy access, whatever end user does in SAP from accounting point of view? Or is it clear? Sorry.
Yes, sir. It is clear.
Mm. It's clear, sir.
It is
Right?
clear.
Easy to
Clear.
relate,
Mm.
right? And these are the modules that you are dealing with: GL, AP, AR, cash, bank, and then asset. Similarly, if you go to controlling, same thing. You go to cost center accounting, master data, transaction, reports. Wherever you go in SAP FICO, it is the same thing. Okay, when we say wherever we go in SAP FICO, it is the same thing. You have to logically understand. When we say we need to logically understand, once you're understanding things in a proper manner, you don't find any difficulties. Otherwise, straight away you will try to understand what is the T code for it, what is the config for it. You will be out of the track. You are understanding, but not in a logical way, not in a proper way. Make sure you're understanding your effort, whatever you're putting, will help you as you move forward to understand the different things in an easier manner. You'll have to put one-time effort. With this one-time effort, many things will be easier for you as you move forward. This is with respect to easy access end user activity. Similarly, if we go to consultant activity or IMG area, Okay, whoever has got background noise, please mute yourself. Okay. If I go to end user area, this is what the screen looks like. So what we will do in consulting area, in the consulting area, same thing. I will go to financial accounting here. Okay, you can find financial accounting here. Open this. Now left hand side, you will find financial accounting here. Right hand side also you will find financial accounting.
Yes.
Right? To enable these functionalities for the end user, as a consultant, you need to enable the setting. Whatever the setting that you activate, accordingly, your end user activities will start working here. Okay? Whatever the settings that you enable, accordingly, the functionalities will start working here. Remember, SAP screen is the same. SAP options are the same globally for everybody. When I say globally for everybody, whoever is using SAP in any part of the world, everybody will see the same screen. But company to company, country to country, there are different requirements or not?
Correct. Yes.
Right? Screen is the same. There is no change in the screen, there is no change in the T code, there is no change in anything. But the only change is, only difference is requirement. The only difference is requirement. It is as simple as like application form. You try to write, you try to open a bank account, you try to open anything, everywhere you will find application form either digitally on this computer or a physical application form. Yes, no? For anything. Are you going to apply? Sorry. For applying anything. When I say for applying anything, let it be anything. You need to fill up an application form either physically or digitally. Here, are you filling up everything or there are certain things which are not applicable to you?
Not applicable also will be there.
Right? In any application that you see, application form is not as customized application form, right? It is common, addressing every requirement. Am I correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
When you're filling up any application form, let's say you need to fill up only 5 in details related to you, but it might have 20 fields in it. But whatever is not applicable, you will simply leave it blank. You are not concerned about it because they are not relevant to you. You will not tell, no, 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 there are so many things related to me. Please change the application form. Do you ask the other person to change the application form? Or you will fill only the information related to you?
Only related to us.
Only till
Right?
relevant
What
information.
we will do, whatever the information related to us, we will fill it up. Whatever is not related to us, we will leave it blank because that is not relevant to us. Similarly, in SAP also, when you look at any screen, you will find so many fields, you will find so many options. Don't try to know everything. Don't think about everything because there are certain fields, there are certain things which are specifically designed for different countries, which are specifically designed for different requirements. Meaning those are special fields, those are special functionalities used in a different scenario. Now there is a terminology called standard, there is a terminology called customized. Anybody heard these two? Standard SAP, customized SAP, or standard functionality, customized functionality?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
SAP
That
standard process,
yes, sir.
SAP best practices, or custom process, Z process, Z process. These kind of
Yes,
terminologies are there. In short, whenever you're talking about SAP standard, whenever you're talking about SAP best practices, there are certain fields which are required to post a document, to create a master, to generate a report, with which anybody can record the accounting entry, anybody can create a master, anybody can pull the report. Beyond this, if you have any additional requirement, you have to enable, you have to prepare additional setup, additional configuration. That's all. Meaning, again, this is dependent on business requirement only. Do not try to think that let me try to understand field by field. Okay, and then let me see what will happen if I do it, what will happen if I do it. You will end up doing a PhD in SAP FICO because it is very vast subject. It will never get over. When I say it is very vast, it will never get over. Every 1 year, SAP used to release their new version previously. Until 2023, if you notice, SAP was releasing latest version every year. If you go back, current version is 2023. Before it was 2022, 2021, 2020, 1909, 1809, 1709, 1615, likewise. Am I correct? Every year there is the latest version of SAP or not? Those who are aware, those who are not aware, till 2023 SAP was releasing latest version every year. But from 2023 SAP decided they are no longer going to release new version every 1 year. Instead, they will be releasing a new version once in every 2 years. If last latest version of SAP was 2023, next version will come in 2025. So in 2024, now you are about to close 2024. Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Still there is no version called 2024 in the market. 2023 is only the latest version because SAP decided they will be releasing a new version in 2025. Meaning once in 2 years you will get a new release in the market now. So once every year SAP is releasing a new version, then there are some changes, there are some improvements, there are some changes or not. Now again you need to understand what are the new changes, what are the new requirement. For this there is a document called SAP simplification list. Anybody heard a terminology called SAP simplification list?
Yes, sir. The solving notes while doing the
No.
upgrades.
No, not that one. So normally when you're talking about SAP simplification list, if you're talking about SAP 2023 version, if you Google SAP simplification list 2023, you will get a PDF document which is freely provided by SAP Press. When you open that document, it's a PDF document. You have to look at finance segment. If you look at the finance segment in 2023 version, what are the new features added? Only those things SAP will explain. These are the new functionalities in this. Same like you're looking at any mobile phone related to Samsung, any mobile phone related to Apple, you see that Samsung S23, Samsung S24, Apple 14, Apple 15, Apple 16. At the end, all are iPhones only, all are Samsung phones only, but there are minor differences between each version, not major differences, right? And when you
Yes,
look
sir.
at these differences, if you find that additional feature is helpful to you, only then you will upgrade. Otherwise, you are fine with any version, right? Current version or older version, it is okay. If your purpose is fulfilled, you are fine with the older version also. Likewise, you'll have to think, don't think that SAP 2023 means something new is there, nothing like that. Nothing like that. It is as simple as like you're using Apple iPhone 15. Now Apple iPhone 16 is there. You need to know how to use Apple iPhone 16 newly, or you will automatically know the changes by operating it. What do you do? If you are a user of a current version, let's say 15, now 16 version is there in the market. If you are using 16
Automatically.
version, do you need to know, or you will automatically identify the changes by looking at the mobile itself? The moment you start
Automatically you will know.
using the mobile, automatically you know, because you know how mobile works, what features are there. It's easy for you to notice. You don't need to look at specifications. You don't need the mobile box. Give me what features are there. Let me read the user manual. Not required, because you know how to use the mobile. You know what features are there. Similarly, when you are working as a FICO consultant, when you know how SAP works in FICO module, any version that you're working, by looking at the screen, easily you can understand, okay, there is a change here. There is a change here. Let me see how it is working. You will be in a position to understand on your own. At that level, you need to gain the knowledge. At that level, you have to think about SAP. If you are thinking about only from the configuration point of view, these things are ruled out. You will never understand this. The way you are thinking, the way you are understanding the system should be something different. Right? In financial accounting, you see there are different settings. You have general ledger accounting, you have bank accounting, you have accounts receivable, payable, you have asset accounting. To enable these functionalities here, the corresponding configuration to be maintained here. In short, these are all the configuration steps which we need to maintain. How you will have to maintain the configuration? Do we need to maintain each and every setting? No, you don't maintain each and every setting. There are so many features, there are so many functions, but not everybody will use all the functions, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, no? Even if you look at your mobile phone, there are so many functionalities in your mobile phone. Are we using all the features in the mobile phone?
No.
You take any product, any, the electronic product, any electronic appliance, any gadget, are we completely using it? Nobody will use it, because to meet a different customer need, those features are enabled. Whoever wants it, they can enable it, they can use it, it will support. If you use it, if you don't use it, it will still work, the basic functionality will still work. Agree? That basic functionality, whatever it is doing, is called as standard functionality. Anything beyond that is something that you'll have to make additional setting, enable the things additionally. So here initially you need to understand standard business process or best practice business process. This is what your first understanding related to SAP FICO, so that you'll be able to understand any process requirement coming up from any project. This is your GUI screen. Whether you look at ECC, whether you look at S4HANA any version, this is how screens look like. There is no change on this two screen in ECC in S4HANA system. On any SAP version, on any SAP on-premise version, either it is ECC or it is S4HANA until 2023, there is no change on the screen. It is exactly the same. If you are finding any change on the SAP system, that is because of the theme. That is because of the theme. The way you change the theme, the appearance of your mobile phone changes or not? Icons, everything. Am I correct?
Yes.
I can change the total appearance of my mobile phone by changing my theme or not? Possible?
Yes.
Possible.
Right? Similarly, you will have themes on SAP also. This is my SAP logon pad. Do a right click. Sorry. Where is this? This is here. Come to this logon pad and click on this icon. You will get options. Click on options. In the option, you have themes. In the option, you have theme. There are different themes here. There are different themes here. If you change a theme, appearance of SAP screen changes. So if you are able to see a different screen appearance of SAP screen like this, don't get confused. It is the latest version, it is the older version. It is not like that. It is based on the theme. Whatever the theme that you are comfortable with, you can put that theme and then start working on your system. That's it. Okay, this is the screen. This is your easy access screen. This is your implementation guide or consultant screen. These screens are same in ECC, in S4HANA system without any changes. So first point, remove from your mind that these screens are different from ECC, S4HANA. When it comes to GUI, they are not different, they are the same. In the next session, I will open ECC version and then show you. Next thing, you'll have to go to Fiori screen. Everybody heard something called Fiori?
Yes.
Yes, Ajay.
Yes, sir.
There is something called
Yes,
Fiori.
Ajay.
To log into Fiori, this is the screen. Meaning Fiori is nothing but URL. You will get a URL. With this URL, you will be able to come to this screen. This is on the Google Chrome. You can open it on any browser. Same thing. Put your user ID here. Put your password here. Click on log on. Okay, this is login. This loads a little slower in the trial versions.
Sir, in T code, the NWBC also we can go now, sir.
NWBC is different. Okay, from 2020 onwards, we don't use NWBC. We use everything in Fiori only. Okay. Now here you will get like this. It is not like your ECC GUI screen. This is a different interface altogether. Now here you will find different options. Okay, this is basically used by end user. This screen is basically used by end user. You will find different catalogs like this. They're all different catalogs. These are all the different Fiori tiles. So same thing. This Fiori screen is majoritarily is used by end user. When we're talking about this is used by end user, what end user will do in SAP? Only 3 activities are performed by end user. What are those 3 activities?
Sir,
Master data,
Master data, transaction data, reports.
Right. End user will perform master data creation, transaction data creation, report execution. So your Fiori screen is majoritarily used for master transaction report purpose only. If you are using public cloud, this is what you will be using. Sorry, if you are using private cloud, this is what you will be using. If you are using public cloud, everything is on Fiori screen only. Even your configuration is on the Fiori screen itself. Okay, you will be using
With
CBC
tables or without
central
reports?
without T codes. If you want, you can enable, you
Okay.
can activate the T codes also on this screen. Okay, if you want, you can also enable the transaction codes. In short, command bar on this screen. To enable it, let me show anyone. If I enable this, save, you will get the transaction screen here, transaction bar. So whatever the T code you put, it will open up here. If I put
All tables are
SPRO,
working similarly.
yeah, if I put SPRO, full configuration screen is available here. In short, whatever you do on GUI, everything is possible on Fiori. Is this the same screen that is display IMG?
Where it is checking with the T codes, could you please show me once again?
You just need to go to menu, settings, under visualization, just enable show OK code. Okay, then you will get this command bar enabled here. You put any T code, whatever you are able to see on GUI, everything is possible on Fiori screen 100%.
So going forward, we will not have that GUI.
It will be there, but whoever is using S4 HANA system, they will give Fiori screens to the user, not GUI. Because GUI will have analytical applications. Okay, there are specific UI based screens which are more user friendly, which are more interactive, more faster. Okay, so this is how you will be working on Fiori screens. This also you need to understand, because currently everybody knows in the market it is all about Fiori. It is all about Fiori. It is all about cloud versions, public cloud, private cloud and all. Whoever is working on cloud version, you have to be comfortable. You have to be confident with this Fiori application screen. Creating data, creating master, generating reports and all. You have to be familiar. You have to be comfortable with Fiori screen. If you are comfortable with this Fiori screen application, you are good to go with any kind of cloud version systems, meaning whether it is S4 HANA public cloud, S4 HANA private cloud, in any project you will be comfortable, confident enough to work. If you are not aware of this point, if you are not comfortable, confident, if you are not practicing these areas, when you go to the market, you will find things difficult. What if somebody is using SAP S4 HANA public cloud system? What if a client is using SAP S/4HANA private cloud system? People call it as rise with SAP, grow with SAP. You would have heard these terminologies,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? When these kind of terminologies are used, if somebody is asking these kind of experience you have, will you be able to work on this kind of a project? You have to be comfortable, you have to be confident. First of all, if you know what are those, and if you understand things in a logical way with which you are able to cover maximum things. In short, your learning should be in such a way with which you are in a position to work in ECC environment, you are in a position to work on S4 HANA environment, both on-premise, cloud versions, public, private cloud. And you have learning time of how much? 1 year? What is
More
your
than 1
learning
year.
time?
3 months.
Learning time for SAP FICO course.
Unlimited.
4 months. 4 months. 3 to 4 months.
It's only 4 months, right? Right?
No, no.
When you're
This is
when you're talking
unlimited.
about learning SAP FICO, is it unlimited duration SAP FICO course or your training period is what?
Training period
Talking
is 3
about
months or
SAP
6 months, but
FICO
the
training,
learning is unlimited.
4 months.
4 months.
but unless and until you learn content which is related, required for you to clear a job, you cannot go to the market, right? Am I correct? For you to get a job, you need to learn things which are required to get the job or not, to
Uh,
handle it.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Yes.
we will be a never-ending student because SAP is vast. You will be learning new things every day because SAP is continuously working on different kind of improvements, different kind of RPAs, all these kind of things and all. So it's a continuous process. For us also, it is a continuous learning, but your primary motto is to make sure whatever you are learning is sufficient to get a job, is sufficient to manage in any project that you are allotted in. For that, content whatever is required, whatever is the market expectation, whatever is the market requirement, according to that you have to learn things in such a way with your effort you are able to cover maximum things, you are able to understand, you are able to manage different things. That is how you have to manage, that is how you have to plan your learning. Only then within 3 to 4 months, or maximum if you take 6 months of duration to learn SAP FICO properly, you will be able to understand, develop skill set in such a way you can manage in the market going forward. Otherwise, what will happen is you will feel that okay, people are asking me to work on this, people are asking me to having experience on it, people are asking if I know this, if I know that, but I think I've not worked on these things, I'm not aware of these things. These questions should not arise in your mind. Make sure when you're learning now, you should know what is the market expectation, what is the current demand for SAP FICO, what people are looking for in the consultant. Accordingly, if you try to upgrade your skill set, accordingly, if you try to prepare practice right from the beginning, it's not that let me first learn basic SAP FICO, let me first learn ECC version, let me first practice GUI. It is not like that. When you're practicing, when you're learning, make sure you're practicing, you're understanding different points with which you're in a confident position to work in any environment. That should be your objective. That is how you need to plan. Else, we will practice, we will put our effort, but when we go to the market, if you feel that something is missing, it's not a good indication for us. So that should not be the situation. These things we need to understand both from GUI point of view and Fiori screen point of view. Next thing, when you're talking about this point is strictly should be registered in your mind. In short, you'll have to register these points in your mind without fail. Always blindly keep in your mind, as a consultant, this is what you are going to work. This is the flow you are going to follow. You'll have a business requirement. Based on that, config will be done. After config, master will be created. After master, transaction will be posted. After transaction, reports are created. After reports, if there are any problem, if there are any improvements, you will be working, you will be providing support. If you keep these points in your mind, when you're talking to somebody, when you're looking at SAP, when you're preparing, you will think in the right channel. Meaning, you will be in a position to think, okay, this is what we are going to do. when somebody is asking you to do this, you should know, okay, before this what would have happened, after this what will happen. Meaning you should know whatever the work that you are doing, before what is the process, after what is the process. Blindly don't work on anything without knowing things logically. Right from the beginning, try to put all these things in your mind, so that initially it might create a confusion. Let it be confused. Let your mind have the confusion at this stage only, so that you can come to a clarified state. You can clarify your doubts only when you have a confusion. Later on, once your course is completed, once you are in the market, you are having a confusion, it is very difficult to clarify things. From now itself, you need to have different kind of a confusion. You will have clarity only after crossing confusion state. So no other go, you have to cross the confusion state. You are not smart, I am not smart to understand everything in one go. If we are like that smart, we don't need to learn SAP FICO at this stage. We are thinking, we are planning to learn SAP FICO after, our academics, after working for some years, mean we are not so smart. We are not so smart, and then there are different reasons. If it is a situation, we don't need to learn SAP FICO at this stage, right? Am I correct? Majoritarily.
Yes.
If we are so smart, we would have learned SAP FICO long back, or we would not be in a position to change job to a different domain altogether. So you have to be practical. When I say you have to be practical, there may be a few exceptions, assuming that we are not part of that exception super skill set. We are not super skill set, we are not an exception candidate. We are a normal candidate. We are not even ordinary. We are, let's say that we are kind of okay candidate with normal kind of a mindset. In short, we are not smart enough. So you have to take a little time to understand. One go, we will not be able to understand. Accept the reality. If I tell this is what it is going to happen, if I tell class is over, refer the recording. Today one recording, tomorrow two recording, after that 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, you will end up having more than 100 recording. You do not know in which recording what is there. You do not know in which recording what is there. You will pile up so many things. Do not depend on recording. Do not depend on anything. Just make sure by looking at the content, you are able to relate, you are able to understand point. For that, it takes some time for us to understand. When I say it takes some time for us to understand, it will literally take time. You have to accept the reality. You have to accept the fact. Nobody is so smart. In one go, you will be able to understand. In one go, you will know and you will remember everything. Practically not going to happen. There may be some exception people. I'm not talking about those exception people. I'm talking about people who will not be able to understand in one go. Anybody is there in one go, you will be able to understand and then you can work on it? Anybody like that? Or it will take time to understand and then to be able to work independently in the project? Definitely, maximum of the cases it will take time. Am I correct?
Yes.
Correct.
One go, this is not going to be possible, because there are so many business requirements, there are so many scenarios, there are so many settings. How is it possible to understand in one go? This is practically not. The moment you start understanding the fact, reality, then you will know how things will happen in SAP. Otherwise, we will be trying to complete SAP FICO like a formality. Okay, 3 months course is over, 4-month course is over. These topics are completed. I did practice of these topics. Now I need to attend interviews. I will prepare a resume. I will go to the market. Nothing will work out, because we're doing for the purpose of formality. I completed my training. I need to give the interview. Things will not work as expected. You will give up SAP. You will go back to the routine. This should not be the case. When you know how things are going to happen practically, please make sure you understand the ground reality, whatever is happening in the market, whatever is the market requirement. Accordingly, is it practically enough? Is it practically possible to understand everything in 3 to 4 months? Practically not possible. I'm openly telling, practically it is not possible to understand, to learn SAP FICO in 3 to 4 months. Literally, practically it is not possible. It is possible only from configuration point of view, as I said, 1 month is also enough. To know SAP FICO from the configuration point of view, 30 days also enough. 1 month is also more than sufficient. But if the target is to learn SAP FICO from the configuration point of view, you do not need to join me, you do not need to be with me, you can join any place. In fact, you don't need to join anywhere. For free of cost, you will get all the content. But when you think practically, when you understand, when you realize things practically, then only you consider learning SAP FICO, consider joining SAP FICO course, consider spending, investing money. Otherwise, please do it for free of cost. On the social platform like Google, YouTube, there are different social media platforms wherein you will get content for free of cost. Please get it there, do your course for zero cost. But unnecessarily don't get into SAP, don't waste your money. Okay, these points is what I want everybody to understand, because as you move forward, we are not focused on the duration, we are only focused on the content. At the end, you need to make sure on the SAP FICO point of view, any topic that is coming up, you are in a position to understand, you are in a position to move forward confidently. Whether you did that before, whether you did not do that before, immaterial. If you know the requirement, if you know any kind of a documentation process, you are in a position to understand on your own and you are able to move forward. That is your confidence, that is your learning output. It is not that only if I teach, only if I explain, you are able to understand, then your skill set, your knowledge is nothing, because you are dependent on me. Initially, it is okay, but I will not be with you every time, right? Nobody will tell you everything whenever you want. So as you grow, as you learn things, as you gain experience, please make sure you are in a position to understand things on your own. Because when you're talking in the point number 1, business requirement, nobody will be with you. You will be playing a individual contributor role. As a consultant, you are an individual contributor. It is not like data entry, some work you will do, some work I will do, we both share will work. No sharing in SAP FICO consulting. If it is your task, it is your responsibility. Even if somebody is sharing your work, if something goes wrong, you will be blamed. Because it is your responsibility, you are responsible for this. Alright? And make sure these points you will keep in your mind and accordingly put your effort. Okay, let us stop this here. Let me stop this here. And in the next session, what we will do is, I will open the SAP ECC screen in the next session. Others, please go on mute. In the next session, I will open SAP ECC screen. I will show how SAP ECC screen look like. Today, what we did, we have seen SAP S4HANA screen 2023 version and S4HANA Fiori screens. Fiori screen is the same in both public cloud and the private cloud. If you know how to work on Fiori screen, you can easily manage both cloud versions of SAP public and private. And ECC server, ECC screens we will see in the next session, so that practically you are comfortable how SAP screens are looking like. And then slowly, once we start talking about a different requirement, then we will see, okay, how this is done in ECC, how this is done in S4 HANA system, what is the actual difference, is there any difference that you need to consider, or you can easily understand as you move forward. First of all, you need to gain confidence there. Once you gain confidence there, it will be fine. Okay, make sure on these areas you will have clarity. Once you have clarity, okay, once you have clarity, you will be able to understand the things without any confusion. If this clarity is there, you will have a lot of confusions striking in your mind. What is ECC? What is S4 HANA? What is cloud? My friend is telling me to learn SAP FICO. My friend is telling me to don't learn ECC, focus only on S4 HANA. Somebody is asking me to learn ECC first, only then go to S4 HANA. Somebody is telling do everything in Fiori only. You have a lot of confusions. Don't get these kind of confusions. These confusions let not create a disturbance in your learning. That is the reason I'm giving you different overviews at the beginning itself, so that you'll have a clear clarity. This is what is going to happen in SAP. This is what you are going to understand. This is what you are supposed to know. Accordingly, when you move forward, there is no point of any confusion. Tomorrow somebody is telling there is something called cloud also. I know what is cloud. Somebody is telling HANA. You know what is S4 HANA. Somebody is telling ECC. You know what is ECC. At least if you are able to think, okay, whatever people are telling, I am able to relate what it is. Enough. At the initial stage, this much is enough. Instead of being completely blank, I'm learning SAP FICO, but I don't know whether I'm learning ECC, S4HANA, cloud, all these things I don't know. All I know is I'm learning SAP FICO. This kind of a confusion should not be there. You should have a clarity what you are learning. You should have a clarity how to work on each of the version of SAP. If this clarity is not there, your learning is not going to add any value. All right, let me stop this here.